Okay, let's rock and roll. This is actually the first bully, but the second video in this too. I'm not like you. I'm not like most humans on this planet. My visual memory begins at 6 months of age. Auditory kicks in a little after that. But actually, in a previous one, I was explaining how we weren't circumcised. Part of that was that my mom had the first 7 kids at home. I was the first one, born in a hospital. Cost $35. They saved the check forever. It disappeared after about 40 or 50 years in her possession. Some of the other kids stole it as a memento oh no, back on. Let's get that lit up. So, we had been living in an irregular house, but close by, there appeared the Caldwell Housing Authority, and they had built some very nice brick. We was actually living in a wood house. But the reason we moved into what's called the projects, but they were in those. It was brand new and wasn't any kind of ghetto situation, and it was primarily because my dad knew that he was in trouble financially because he was sick, and very quickly it turned out that he's spitting up, coughing up, throwing up blood because 2/3 of his stomach was completely ulcerated, having a lot of problems. He ended up having 2/3 of his stomach removed. So we move into the projects, and life is kind of fun. We're out there, fishing for crawdads with a piece of string, a little bit of bacon rind, that kind of stuff. Deputy comes out and shoots actually, it was a German Shepherd. So I think somebody called it in as maybe a rabid dog or something. Actually, he just left it right there. I remember so much of that. I remember my sisters dressing me up as a little girl and trying to pass me as a little girl when I was just barely a little over a year old. I was walking and talking at 6 months. Memory begins at 6 months. But at around 30 months, my brother Charles Andrew Kruger, 49ers, had already won his first All-American, was right on the verge of about to win his second and going to the pros. And my brother Ross, 7 years older, so that would make him and the other guy, they were tossing the ball back and forth, because his is a birthday, so he's 7 years plus older than me, 7.5, whatever. And he was playing. There was actually 3 boys the same age and stuff, so that would put them right around 10, 11 years old. They were getting pretty good size and stuff, and they weren't doing anything. They were throwing a ball back and forth and running around making that stiff arm move and posturing, posing. They weren't really playing a game or anything. It wasn't anything organized or thought out. They were just mimicking, these poses that they had seen in newspapers and magazines and stuff like that. And my brother throws the ball to this other guy who I think is actually a year older than my brother Rolf, the demon-possessed asshole that pretty much put me right here on this bench using the stupidity of the lower courts. You know nothing about my life. You go ahead and judge me. Go ahead. We'll see what the Lord says. And so this kid catches the ball, and he decides to run towards me, and he comes towards me. He stiff arms me because my head is just a little bit above you, and knocks me, pushes me, down on the ground. Could have broke my fucking neck. I mean, violently did it to a 30-month-old child. Yeah, I'm big for my size, way big for my size. I was big as like a 5-year-old, the typical 5-year-old, or even some of these children I see now are so malnourished and got so much soy in their diet, they're tiny. You're retarding their growth with that soy. Look up the word protease inhibitors. So in less than a blink of an eye, my response was just totally automatic. I pretty much knew my way around all of those each one of those duplexes, the layout was the same. I actually ran into a house I'd been into before. I knew I pulled open the silverware drawer, and somehow at 30 months of age, I didn't grab the big ass butcher knife. I grabbed what Texans call a butter knife, not those little bitty things. I'm talking about, it's like what y'all call a regular dinner knife now. It's that dull thing. It doesn't have really an edge on it. It's long bladed, and I ran out there and stabbed the motherfucker. I actually kind of jumped up and gave him my best, got him right above the hip, and he went down. You know what? He didn't do shit to me. And I remember he was black. He had like a big, I'm talking about 20 square inches of black. I really busted a lot of blood vessels. It went in. It did not penetrate the skin, but he really felt some pain then. And I don't even know if he really remembers that he fucked up and hit me first, motherfucker. It's called self-defense, Hamas. All you pro-terrorist motherfuckers. Here's this kid doing this gayest shit and literally harming somebody that's not even, less than half his age and less than half his size. And actually after that, everybody in the neighborhood left me the fuck alone until David Dennis, the video before this. Had to go to a strange place. You know, after it got around at that little Kruger kid, you watch out, that motherfucker will stab you. I sure as fuck will. I don't like bullies. You come at me, I am going to get a chunk of you. Got me?